All right, perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. I'm in Malaysia. It is noon. I am in the process of counting down my days before I leave the country. And I do want to apologize for yesterday because I was changing locations while I count down for leaving the country. So what do I talk about? I talk about economics. I talk about business. My goal is to take you from broke money to new money to more money. And how do I do that? I do that by getting you to understand from a global and domestic perspective of how the world economy impacts you. Now, we have a tendency to think that because sometimes we are in Western countries, we seem to think that we are in a bubble and there is a lack of connection, prosperity connection that actually exists, and that's not the case. So you must understand, thank you for the gift, you must understand that when you engage in transactions, whether it's domestically or internationally, we're all going to be connected. I'm going to take you through some stories that are based on history, that's based on economic cycles, that is based upon current events, and I'm going to weave it all together, ideally to have you be able to prosper. There is a digital boom that's happening right now. And this digital boom is impacting the lives of a lot of people. Now, for some people, it is sucking money from them. And from other people, it's actually creating sources of income that is freeing them time-wise and financially. So at any point in time, thank you for the gift, any point in time you are impatient with me, all you have to do is go to my profile, my website is there, and you can get the answer that you seek. But for those of you who are here, my live is it's mental, okay? It's comprehensive, and you have to focus. And the only thing that I ask you to do is to give me a string of hearts, or hearts or whatever's going on, because that lets me know that you're understanding and I may proceed forward. So I have a moderator. My moderator is not very merciful. So if you're not adding value, you will get blocked. So either add value or just sit back and chill and listen, okay? First. Second, the information I'm giving is very cerebral. If this is new to you, be patient, be kind with yourself, and follow along, because it's my goal to simplify this information as much as possible so that you can understand from a personal perspective how we're all connected and what it all means. And last but not least, enjoy yourself. Fundamentally, my life is about money. Money, 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 cash, cash, cash. Keep your politics, your racial preferences, and your religious preferences to yourself. This is a live for everyone because we all have the same needs and we all want to prosper in our own vision. I do not tolerate any BS. I want to warn you now. So if you really want to enjoy, let's go ahead. All I need you to do is focus, pay attention, ask relevant questions, give relevant comments, and keep those strings of, I think I'm getting moons and gifts from Ramadan. Keep it going and let's get started. So, what does it mean to be a global citizen? Well, typically what you think is you think of people who travel or you think of businesses, but you're actually a global citizen. And let me explain to you why. If you were to go through your home and look at the goods and services that you buy, you will see that some of those goods and services are not from your country. This is really important for you to realize. There's a number of goods, whether it be food, product, and or services that uses products that were created that were either imported or exported from another country. Now you're thinking, okay, what's the big deal? It is a big deal because when countries are able to focus on producing what they're good at, and they're able to produce it at a price that makes sense to you, and they are able to import or export those goods, that means that you live a quality of life and lifestyle that is conducive to you. And it also allows other countries and people to have a livelihood and have their own businesses. So I've given you the first of many examples to help you understand that even though that you may not have traveled the world, you may not have gone across the street or left the state that you live in, you must understand we are all global citizens on different levels, okay? Like I said, I travel the world, so I'm a global citizen on a different level. But nonetheless, there is not one person who can tell me everything that they buy is solely from the country they reside in. Okay, we're going to establish that because we have a global economy. So being an international citizen, you must understand that it affects everyone and everything. This means that businesses worldwide, local businesses, global businesses must stay on top of economics and consumer trends. Now, what are consumer trends? Consumer trends are your buying patterns. Are people buying? Do people want to buy what you have? Do you offer a service that someone actually wants to pay you cash money for? So if you are a business owner or you're a consumer, you want to be in the know of what's going on. You want to be in the know of the new, the best hair. You want to be in the know of the best makeup, the best watches, the best pants, the best jeans, the best car. So whether you are purchasing goods or you're supplying goods and services, you must keep a pulse on consumer trends because consumers are people that buy. You have people who are consumers. You have the government that's a consumer. You have businesses that are consumers. So we all play a part in stimulating our economy. And when you have a stimulated economy, that means money, ideally, in your pocket. Are you with me? Let me know. You're getting ready to get blocked. Let me know if you're still with me. How do you do that? You do that by tapping the screen. Very, very simple. Please let me know that you understand and you're with me because this is about money and understanding how money ends up in your pocket. All right? Good. Let me keep seeing those strings, guys, because if you don't interact with my live stream, let me tell you what happens. TikTok will not give you my live stream again. So I'm asking you to engage so I can help as many people as possible. And if you don't feel like being engaged, then you might want to scroll. Just a piece of advice. Thank you for the gift. So what is happening right now? I say this time and time again. Money does not disappear. Even if your bank account is dwindling right before your eyes at the speed of light, I want you to read my lips. Money does not disappear. It may appear to do so. It may not be in your proximity. But hi, crypto. Thank you for coming back, friend. Listen, guys, crypto got blocked a couple of days ago by accident. All right. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, and I have no problem in making things right. Crypto was blocked. I hunted him or her down, and I apologize. And thankfully, he has joined us again. So thank you for being here, crypto. And I want y'all to see I make mistakes, but I have no problem owning it and moving forward. So thank you, crypto, for coming back. So back on topic. Money does not disappear. Even if you have been struggling all of your life and you have experienced generational poverty in your family, you must understand the reason why generational poverty is continuing to exist within your family line. There's some other reasons, but the main reason I want you to focus on is, are you where the money is flowing? Are you where innovation is happening? Are you with things that people want to buy? This is critical. Now, I may have studied economics and business. You don't need to study economics and business to realize I don't have that money. They have that money. What are they doing that's different than me that allows them hi, Mia, welcome back, that allows them the opportunity to be able to stack that cash, stash that cash, tap that bank? You have to be able to start getting out of your ancestral curses and all this hoopla that people tell you in your head. Money wants all of us. Money needs all of us. We all need money. So if money needs us and we need money, why is it that some people get it and some people don't? Fundamentally, the people who are getting it, they go where the money is. They're able to shift. For some reason, there is a blockage with a good mass of human beings in regards to change. If change did not happen, you would be riding on horseback, bareback, with a goddamn buggy. So if change is what is giving you this comfortable lifestyle that allows you not to work yourself to the knuckles and bones, why can't you move in the direction of prosperity? You have some mental blockages and some denial and delusion that is preventing you from achieving the prosperity that you rightfully deserve. So that is the point of my live stream, is I'm trying to get you to expand your horizon and get out of your dogma, okay? People got you caught up in self-esteem issues and confidence and childhood issues. Do you know messed up people can get rich too? Did you know that a person's mindset doesn't always dictate if they're able to get cash? So you get caught up in confidence and childhood issues and all that. You are distracting yourself. It's called a self-induced distraction. And by watching my live stream, I'm hoping to teach you how to put your emotions to the side and start focusing on the facts. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. Your self-esteem issues do not make you money. Your childhood issues is not making you money. Earn the money and then go get the help you need. I need you to really put your feelings to the side. Become objective. Analyze the facts and figures. Just like when you go to the grocery store and you got $10 in your bank account, you know that you can't spend more than $10. So what do? You look for sales, you look for bargains. That's the same mindset you must have when it comes to earning money. You're not in the grocery store. You should not be in the grocery store crying and letting people know you have $10 in your bank account, but you understand what I mean. When you're shopping, you have a budget, you work to stay within that budget and you focus. It's the same thing what goes with money. You let your emotions, your background interfere with looking at a prosperous boom, economic boom that's happening in front of your face. I can tell you at the end of my live stream where you could have a 2-hour workday, 100% pay, 100% profits, and you can get paid daily. And some of you will still sit like a pigeon in a nest playing with your feathers instead of going to get the money. Now, why is that? We'll answer that at the end of my live, but I want you to think about what I'm saying. You can have consistency and commitment to poverty, but you can't sustain consistency and commitment for tapping that cash. That's why some of you, I'm going to leave you where I found you, which is broke money. Other people, I'm going to help you go from broke money to new money. And other people, you're going to go from new money to more money, because you're going to be able to objectively see, based upon the money that's being spent by the rich and powerful, you're going to be able to identify objectively macro and microeconomic booms. Because when there's an economic boom, that means money is being made. Are you with me? If you don't want money, you need to probably scroll from my live, because this is not the best place for you to be. I want to be clear. This is not hand-holding. This is clear-cut business. And I'm going to show you from the highest level of society all the way down to your doorstep how we have similar patterns, and people who engage in particular activities are the ones that benefit. And those who do not move, those who snooze, you lose. And you will keep losing. And let me tell you what happens. When you lose, you never win. When you snooze, you never win. It's very simple facts. Now, let me take you through this. Money shifts, all right? It shifts left, it shifts right, it shifts up, it shifts down. When you are able to take a step back and see where the money's flowing, then what a boss does, a boss takes a step back and strategically analyzes what's happening and why. And they try to take all the knowledge, tools, and expertise that they have and position themselves in the direction of the money flow. Let me give you an example. Now, I talked about this yesterday, but I wasn't able to go in depth the way I like. So I'm going to dive a little deeper today. Iraq. Now, most of us modern day are familiar with the country of Iraq due to the Iraq War. And you see it as a war-torn desert location that doesn't have a lot going on. But what you must understand is that Iraq has a long, strong, rich history. And I'm talking about a history from an economic point of view. There was a period of time where Iraq was, you could consider, the global trade hub. It's no different than the Panama Canal or what's happening in Hong Kong, Singapore, whichever one has a port. It's that amount of money. Thousands of years ago, because of the location of Iraq and that was considered the center of the world because a lot of the earth wasn't explored and wasn't found. That was a major trade hub. Now, if you don't know what it means to have a trade hub, that is an explosion of money, goods, services, a transfer of knowledge. It actually is what makes the global economy great. You have different, like in America, you have different foods, you have different cultures, you have different languages. You are able to get access to goods and services that you would not normally have access to if there wasn't global trade. So there was a period of time where Iraq was, I would say, the center of the world. Now, this is huge because when you look at the country today, you're saying, what is she talking about? Iraq was Mesopotamia. If anyone who studies history like me, you must understand there were great civilizations before the British Empire, before America became a superpower. You must understand that. There were cultures and global citizens of that time who were rich from natural resources, from trade, the list goes on. So what happened to these civilizations? They became obsolete. Let me tell you why. When you refuse to shift and you see innovations and you see things happening and you're sitting on your high horse thinking, I'm untouchable. What happened to the Roman Empire? What happened to the Greek Empire? What happened to the Indian and the Chinese Empire? You cannot sleep because you have achieved massive financial success. Let me give you a modern day example. I like to refer to Saudi Arabia because for some reason in the West, especially in the US, we like to think that, we're the end all be all. You must understand, outside the US, places that you have a perception that they're struggling and they're poor, you must understand the massive amount of wealth like countries like Saudi Arabia have amassed due to their natural resources. You want to know why? Because people like us in the West, we want that petrol, we want that energy, and we pay that money. And because of that money, they have been able to develop their civilizations. Well, that's the same thing happened with Iraq. But what Saudi Arabia is doing, let me tell you what Saudi Arabia is doing. Instead of Saudi Arabia having a short-term view, they are starting to invest $1 trillion in the U.S. They're investing a few billions of dollars of Air Asia. You want to know why? Because Saudi Arabia knows that relying on fossil fuels for the economy is very short-sighted. Even though fossil fuels and oil and energy has allowed them to amass billions, trillions of dollars, they also know if they sit still and they do not start making moves now, they will become what happened to Timbuktu. They will become what happened to Iraq. They will become obsolete. So this is critical with keeping a pulse on society. Let me give you a more personal thing. Some of you are software programmers. Hi, Donald. Some of you are software programmers. You have had the ability to engage in programming AI. Hi, you've had the ability to engage in programming AI. And you went back to school, you got the coding language, you got everything done. But because of your expertise, within 12 months, AI is going to be writing 90% of the code. Now, if I was a software engineer, let me tell you, hello, welcome. If I was a software engineer, let me tell you what I would do. I would give gratitude for the ability to help make history, which is to help create AI. But then I would take my knowledge and skills and I would shift someplace else. Just like Iraq became obsolete or fell off the map, so can you as a global citizen. Are you understanding what I mean? Just because you have skill sets, you have long, deep experience, depth and girth in the industry or in education, you think that you can just sit someplace for 20, 30 years and make money. No. The purpose of my live stream is to help you understand where the future is going. And the future is in the digital age. In the past, you could sit in a career for 10, 20, 30 years and basically rot and rust. But because of technology that we have right now, we are moving at a speed that you can never imagine. So do you become what Iraq became? You went from greatness to losing your greatness? Or do you hop from one greatness and you hop over to the next because money is shifting? Everything you see in history and everything you see in time, it happens on a macro scale and it happens on a micro scale, meaning what can happen to Iraq can happen to your life. You can go from having, middle class, higher middle class income to being at the poverty line because you refuse to realize sending out resumes is not the best way for you to stack that cash because times have changed. So I'm trying to get you to understand how critical it is to move from one economic boom to the next. Most of us sit in one location because we think that's where we're supposed to be. And then your income earning abilities actually start to diminish. There is something in economics called diminishing returns. That means you have reached the peak of your income earning potential, and anything you do after that point never reaches a higher point. You actually start losing because of sunken costs and hidden costs. There are hidden costs to being an employee. There are sunken costs that's tied to having traditional businesses in which you're taking out loans. You have overhead, you have employees. When economic times change and innovation and technology changes, it actually changes how you are able to be employed and how you're able to have a successful and highly profitable business. You're getting ready to get blocked. You are getting ready to get blocked. What I tell you, I told you don't play in my live. You're going to get blocked. I told you the future. You're getting ready to get blocked. So back to Iraq. Now, what is Iraq doing right now? Anyone who watches business news, Wall Street Journal has just announced that Iraq is making moves to get back on the map. Now, why is this important? Egypt has a trading canal. And that trade canal, for a period of time, was supposed to be the safest, the shortest route for cargo ships to go to and from. Now, what's happening is that for some reason, Egypt has gotten comfortable and lax. And because Egypt is not protecting that trade canal, they are experiencing billions of losses a year. They're losing about $800 million a month because cargo ships are being attacked. Now, what are on cargo ships? Cargo ships are what's used to import and export goods. Cargo ships are what brings you your cars. It's what brings you your designer clothes. It's what brings you goods and services that you want from China and other places, other regions. And it allows the U.S. to export our goods. Importing and exporting is money. Whether you're a consumer or you're a business, importing and exporting is critical. Because instead of having your country being your only customer, with global trade, you now have the world as your customer base. Do you understand the quantity of money that I'm talking about? So for Egypt to allow $800 million a month in losses, Iraq saw opportunity. The Wall Street Journal has just reported that Iraq is making moves to build a trade corridor. A $7 billion trade corridor to bypass Egypt's canal. Now, let me tell you what that means. Because Egypt is sleeping at the wheel and so much money is being lost, you have countries like the US and China and Russia that's having to take longer trade routes. What do you mean? What do I mean? Let me tell you. Back in the day, we used to have to go around the tip of Africa to bring goods to the West. If you know anything about the slave trade, you know that. We would have to go all the way around Africa and then come back up. That took time. Time is money. If you take too long to get goods and services to customers, they either rot, they rust, they go to waste, they get hijacked by pirates. So having a shorter, easier, safer trade route, you must understand the magnitude of what that means for businesses and what that means for you as consumers. The sooner they can get it to you, the cheaper the price can be. The sooner they can get it to you, the more profits these businesses make. It's about money. So now Egypt is suffering losses. Thank you. Egypt is suffering losses, and anyone who's exporting and importing goods, I don't care if you make wigs, I don't care if you make shoes, I don't care if you make hair scarves, if you are a business, small, medium, or large, and you'd like to ship your goods to people overseas, you must understand when there's not safe passage, it impacts you and everyone else. So Iraq sees that, one, in their history, they used to be a major global trade corridor. So someone had a brain idea because the timing is right. Iraq is now building a trade corridor because they want business to come through them. Because if they can give speed, safety, business people will pay unbelievable amounts of money to Iraq to get their goods into the hands of consumers like you. This is what I mean about putting aside your religious preferences, putting aside your gender, racial, political preferences, and start looking at that bag, which is money. Now, do people have problems with Iraq? Probably. But if Iraq can provide a safe, speedy, and accurate way to get goods and supplies, guess what? People do business with their enemies. Did you know that? They want to become, thank you, crypto, there. So let me tell you what that means. Iraq becoming the World Trade Center again. Let me tell you what this means. I get so excited. Let me tell you why. The West has dominated with wealth. For as long as you have known, the West has dominated with wealth. If Iraq gets their trade corridor up, you must understand what that's going to do to you. You see, before you were born, these nations were rich. They were rich beyond your wildest imagination. Now, if you pay attention to my live stream, I told you money does not disappear. Money moves. That means the money will be moving to the Middle East. We have had the opportunity to dominate the global economy, the global market, because of their instability and their inability to have a cohesive goal, which is prosperity. But once they are able to stabilize and secure that, you must understand, people of the West, this is a game changer. This is a monetary, economic game changer for you. You see, we got lucky for 100 years, 200 years? We have gotten lucky for a few hundred years here in the West, where we seem to think that our empire is untouchable. And even as humans, some of you are tenured professors, you are executives, you've been sitting sweet in your positions, while other people have been encountering glass ceilings, whether you're a woman or whatever your religion, whatever's been happening. There's been a glass ceiling for a number of people, and you have not been able to move up because other people have been sitting on their golden throne and they're not moving. They're not letting you through and they're not moving. You are in a time, because of technologies, where money is shifting again. If anyone who's spiritual or look at universal laws, you must understand, even when it comes to money and business interactions with humans, we follow the same universal principles. You have 4 seasons, you have balance and flow, you have good and negative. Balance must always be restored. Now, what has happened is that for a number of years, we have had an imbalance where the wealth has been predominantly in the West. If the Middle East is able to stabilize and secure their interests, you must understand wealth will shift from the West. Money never disappears. Money moves. And if money is going in the direction of the Middle East, because the Middle East is conveniently located, conveniently located, that's going to change how you live life. That's going to change how you engage in business. That's going to change who's holding that bag. Now, do you got the guts? Do you got the balls? Do you have the gall to flow where the money's going? Or do you sit on your high horse like the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the British Empire, and say, I'm untouchable? You must understand, everybody is touchable now. Because of AI and quantum computing, it is ripping through industries and it's leveling the playing field. Now, either you got the hustle, you got the drive, you got the focus to get it, and you make history, or you become history. I need y'all to fully understand what I'm saying, because some of you have never imagined, oh my, money transferring from the West back to the East? Yes, before the West existed, the East existed. They were rich. The West actually came to life because of the activities of the East, because of trade. Trade causes money, education, medicine, languages, and disease to spread throughout the world. That's why you have migration. The Silk Road, trade routes. You think trade routes doesn't dry up? Trade routes dry up. If the Earth's axis, the U.S. is not doomed, but there's a reality check. The U.S. is not doomed. You want to know why the U.S. is not doomed? Let me tell you. Because Trump is making moves to first devalue the dollar. And when he devalues the dollar, let me tell you what happens. That encourages foreign investment. So the U.S. is not doomed. Let me tell you who is at risk. It's the citizens. You have become accustomed to the middle class American dream. You have become accustomed to getting a job and employment. You have been accustomed to, if you don't have a job, you can file for government benefits. USA is not in jeopardy because the US now has technologies and robots and algorithms and automations that can do the jobs of humans. What humans need to do is recognize the beast that's in front of your face. And instead of trying to resist or deny this beast, you need to learn how to harness those technologies for your economic prosperity. Are you with me? I know I'm giving you a lot. Give me a sign that you're still with me, because I'm not done yet. Are you with me? Tap, 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 tap. Let me know. Thank you. Now, what does this mean? When you have good business and you can secure the assets of citizens and you can secure the assets of businesses, that means they trust you to do business. And that is how Iraq making moves to build their trade corridor. You have to understand, this is big. Now, here's the thing. You may ask, why now? If Iraq used to be a trade hub, a rich trade hub, you're asking, what happened? Well, people happen. People refuse to shift with the times. People get greedy. People start inserting things, personal issues into business, and that interferes with money earning abilities. People get comfortable. People get they just think that nothing moves. And then when things start to go wrong, people start to argue and fight. And when they argue and fight, that creates instability. So when you have, like your home, if you have a lot of instability in your home, it's really hard for you to prosper. Think about it. Some of you, you're at home, you're arguing and fighting with your significant other, and then you have to go to work the next day. How productive are you at your job if you are arguing and fighting at home? So this is no different than a country. If a country has instability for religious, racial, gender reasons, you must understand you are actually blocking your prosperity. It doesn't matter how brilliant you are. If you are not able to focus and you are being distracted by irrelevant BS, just like a rock can fall off the map, so can you. If you don't know how to avoid distractions and focus on your assets and your skills. Does that make sense? All right. So you have countries. Let me tell you what countries are doing now. Because the Egypt Canal is not as safe as it should be, you have countries using water, they're using land, they're using as many different ways as possible to keep their goods from getting destroyed. So imagine you could be able to use water, get your goods imported and exported by using waterways. But because of the violence that's happening, countries are now using water. They're going from water to land. They're going back from land to water. They're going from water to the airplane. Those are expenses. Those are unnecessary expenses. So when businesses have to go to that great extent to get you goods, that's going to jack up the price. So your nice goods that you like imported or wherever they're from, you must understand, because businesses are trying to protect their interests and their assets. They're actually having to pay for more costs, unnecessary costs, to get you those goods and services. So the attacks that the U.S. is fighting with the Houthis. The U.S. is fighting with the Houthis because the Houthis are attacking cargo ships that is in Egypt's canal. Now, you would think that Egypt would be protecting their own canal, but I don't want to get on that right now. I don't know who would let money fall through their hands, but I'm just telling you, a business or a government will do whatever it needs to do to protect its assets, just like you. So, if Iraq successfully connects its multi-billion-dollar port on the Turkish border, and they successfully secure it, Iraq will have one of, if not the most profitable trade routes in the world to date. Do you see what happens to the Panama Canal? Can you imagine what happens to the port? I don't know if it's Hong Kong or Singapore. Can you imagine what will happen to the ports in Hong Kong, Singapore? What will happen to the port or the trade canal in Egypt? And what would happen to the Panama Canal? Iraq will basically suck the money from these currently existing trade hubs, trade canals. This would benefit Turkey. So when I tell you things dry up, yes, money moves. So if I was Egypt and I knew what Iraq was planning to do, I would pull my pants up, put my belt on, and I would handle my business. If I was Hong Kong and Singapore, I would try to figure out more technologically advanced ways to cut costs for my customers and become more relevant. If I was the Panama Canal, I would be offering coupon discounts. I would be offering coupon discounts to countries like the U.S. who have ships going through, because you know there is a competitor that's going to put you out of business. If you don't believe me, look at Timbuktu. Look at Timbuktu. We like to make jokes about Timbuktu, but Timbuktu was real. Education, universities got started in Timbuktu. And when the Silk Route dried up, Timbuktu dried up, because money moves, okay? Money moves. You must move with the money. Are you with me? Okay, so hold on. Both missing percent invasion. So what happened with Iraq? Iraq suffered invasion. It dealt with instability. It dealt with mismanagement of resources. So when you have constant invasions, which is why you must protect your borders, even your home, you must protect your home. You have to protect your home because it has things that you value. The same thing goes with a country. If a country that is rich gets consistently invaded, you must understand that introduces instability. It introduces politics that may not agree with what was able to secure the prosperity and success of Iraq. And then you have people start infighting, and then you have people stealing money. So the same thing that happens in your household, that happens in a business, it can happen for a country. So when you have all these negative influences, you cease to matter. You become history instead of making history. Now, Iraq should have known that it was rich, and because it was open, it needed a little bit more intel to protect its assets, but it did not, because it was comfortable and it would assume that no one would invade us. Like, thank you. No one would invade us. We're fine. No, people, when you are successful, you must understand there are going to be people who are eyeballing you because they want what you got. Is there anyone in my live stream who understands what I'm saying? You are successful and you got people who are pretending to be in your network. They're pretending to be friends. They want to get to know you, hang out with you. No, they're scoping, they're scheming, they're scamming because they're trying to figure out a way to move in on you. Now, most of you focus on someone wants my man, someone wants my woman. No, people do this when it comes to your success, your contacts, and your money. Because Iraq is not the only country that has experienced this. This has happened to a number of countries where wealth has disappeared. And because they are not, I want you to block this person if you see them.
Yeah, there's a lag.
Okay. This has happened to a lot of different people. So you must understand the importance of protecting your interests and knowing your assets. All right. So what made them unable to leverage their keystone? They are centralized. That is why it's called the Middle East. They are centralized. And if you don't realize, if you're centralized, how rich that is, how that gives you power and access to money, you're going to be conquered and you're going to have your resources stolen and you're going to get stabilized. So it's important for you to realize people who are threats and people who are enemies. All right. So meanwhile, what's happening? China, US, and Russia are securing alternate trade routes. And these alternate trade routes are taking more time than they should to get you goods and services. And when things take more time, that means profits are at stake. And if you know anything about stakeholders or shareholders, they expect quarterly profits to go up. And if they're not going up, they have a problem because they have invested a lot of money. So this Iraq trade corridor, what would it do for you? Well, it would cause you to look at the world a lot differently. It would cause you to have to either align with the digital age or you become misaligned and you become broke. It's really important for you to understand this. I asked you, why do you think Iraq is doing this now? Iraq is able to do this now because times have changed. Innovation has changed. Even the intensity of emotions that has been the cause of a lot of poverty in the Middle East, some of this stuff is settling down. Because they are now, because of economic cycles, there are economic cycles. There are, I like to say this in a weird way. Just like we have spiritual cycles as human beings, we go through periods of being clueless, and then we go through periods where we have epiphanies, we have awareness, we enlightenment. Countries go through the same thing. If you go back 5, 10, 15, 20,000 years. I know some of you don't know this, but the world has existed beyond 5,000 years, okay? The world has existed beyond 5,000 years. You would know that there is bigger patterns that happens. Even with the patterns of weather on Earth, there are patterns. Even when it comes to business, businesses follow the same economic patterns that you see, even when it comes to nature. You have summer, spring, fall, winter. Summer, spring, fall, winter. Spring represents a new a new boom, new innovation. Summer is when you are at full throttle. You are basically plateauing and you reached your peak. Fall is when things start to decline because new technologies are coming to play. And winter means it's frozen. What's frozen? Software engineers, software programmers because of AI. Quantum computing is going to rip through the biotech industry. So if you understand the laws of the universe, the laws of this earth, you would be able to see equivalent patterns even when it comes to economics. It's all because it's worded differently and you don't have a more expansive mindset to see it. You think because we've had spring and summer for 100, 200, 300 years, fall eventually has to come. Winter eventually has to come because there is destruction and there's creation. Just like there's birth and there's death. So when you even look at a human life, you can equate it to an economic cycle. Now, an economic cycle lasts much longer than the life of a human, but you must understand they follow the same laws. Destruction, sustain, creation, or creation, sustain, destruction. Even in business, You don't believe me? Look at the stock market. The stock market goes up and down. That's the equivalent of spring, summer, winter, fall. That is the equivalent. So when you know that something that goes up must come down, and you know that things shift, you know why things shift? Because the wind moves things. Wind moves, money moves. Now, if you want a nice breeze, you want a money breeze, then guess where you go? If you want a nice money breeze, let me tell you where you go. The digital age is creating an economic tornado. Now, if you don't understand the fundamentals of a tornado, let me tell you what a tornado does. A tornado is cold air, hot air coming together, and they start spinning. And when it starts spinning, it starts sucking. It sucks water, it sucks, and it destroys. Digital technologies are creating an economic tornado. Part of the reason why you are not able to have employment or your profits are not the same as they used to be is because now there are automations and there's technologies that if you refuse to invest in and employ, and you're still trying to earn a profit the traditional way, which is having employees, things like that, your overhead is too high and you cannot compete. If you are attempting to get a job, and I just told you that there's quantum computing and there's AI, and you're not getting callbacks for your resume. You're not getting callbacks because there is a robot and there's AI who can work 24/7, do not ask questions, do not give an attitude, do not need a break, and they're a one-time investment. You're competing with technologies that you can't compete with. So what do? Well, you can't beat them, you join them. The same technologies that are putting you out of a job or squeezing your profits are the same technologies that you should be looking to invest in. Now, if you're a human being and you don't have a business, then you have the opportunity to invest in yourself and get the technology that will allow you to earn an income. Now, the problem with a lot of you is that you are not accustomed to working with the money energies of the digital age. The digital age is fast. The digital age is 100% profits, and the digital age is legit. And because you are so ingrained in your ways, you refuse to accept that fact that you could have a 2-hour workday, you can get paid daily, and you can earn 100% of the profits by not creating anything at all and by using the technologies of your cell phone. Now you're asking me how. If you're asking me how, let me see the hearts on the screens because my hearts are too low. My hearts are too low. I have given you a lot of information to chew on, and I know I am expanding a lot of people's minds. So I need you to keep up with me. Let me tell you what's happening. Just like Iraq is planning to make moves on Egypt and steal the business of Egypt, steal the business of the Panama Canal, and basically snatch the business of Singapore, Hong Kong ports. Let me tell you what's happening. Because companies like Google, Microsoft, IBM, you have countries pouring billions and trillions of dollars into this, they are actually creating an economic boom for everybody else. Now, you got automations, you have AI, you have crypto, you have cryptocurrency, you have quantum computing. Thank you for the gift. You have algorithms, you have robotics, you have automations, and you have e-learning. Now, e-learning is basically that. It's online learning. Now, some of you don't even consider online learning because you think it's bad because of what you may have experienced during COVID. Thank you, So Funny. But I want you to know something about the e-learning industry. The e-learning industry is actually using the technologies of automations and AI. E-learning is using the technologies of automations and AI. This is an industry that is harnessing the technology that is putting you out of a job. It is using the technologies that is stealing your bottom line, your net income, because you refuse to accept that automations and AI is the way, and or you cannot afford to invest in it for yourself until now. E-learning is a microeconomic boom. E-learning is how you learn online. Kids can learn online, adults can learn online. Thank you. You can actually learn online better, easier, and have a much richer education than you could get with an in-person school because there's no personal bias. I am a strong advocate for e-learning because my children attended online private school and my children are here with me in Malaysia. We are digital nomads. Now, how do I earn an income? I earn an income in the e-learning industry. I actually have an automated system. I have an automated online system. And let me explain to you how this works. First, the e-learning industry is a microeconomic boom. Microeconomic boom means within 2 years, it is projected to double. Currently, right now, it's at $1.5 billion daily. It is projected to go to $3 billion daily. Anyone who trades in crypto will understand what I mean. If someone told you you buy Circle Bitcoin, because Circle Bitcoin had a projection that was based on real facts that saw that it would double within 2 years, you would understand that is a boom, that is a trend, that's what I need to be on. But what I'm talking to you about is better than crypto. Sorry, guys, because crypto is also risky. The e-learning industry is stable. It is stable, it is accessible, and it's affordable to all of you. You cannot make money in the digital industry unless, one, you get reskilled. Two, you have the technology. And three, you got the right time. Timing is now. If you sleep on a microeconomic boom, anyone who's in business, anyone who understands trends, you know if you snooze, you lose. That's the same thing that goes with money. So right now, the e-learning industry is a $1.5 billion daily industry. That means money is being made every single day. $1.5 billion every day from e-learning. E-learning is going to go to 3 billion, projected to go to 3 billion in 2.5 years. Now, why am I confident in that? Let me tell you why I'm confident in that. E-learning is profitable. Why is it profitable? There's no overhead. If you get something that's already created, meaning if you're not creating something from scratch and it's already created, that means the risk, someone else is taking that risk. Anyone who creates a new product or service, you must know that there are initial investment costs. When you get something that's already been built, that's proven to make money, that means you don't have that risk. Someone else has taken that risk. So what do? I have an automated money machine. I have an online system that works for me 24/7 that's in the e-learning industry. Why is this beneficial? One, I did not create it. Two, it's in the digital industry, which means it uses AI and it uses automations. What are automations? It means it's automatic. It's like if you set your DVR recorder, you set your DVR to record a show, and let's say you disappear for 3 weeks and you come back, guess what? Your show is on your DVR because you have already set up the requirements for it to record and stay. That is what it means to have an online automated system, but it's an online business. Traditionally, when you have an online business, you're looking at drop shipping, you're looking at inventory, you're looking at advertising. Imagine having no advertising costs, no inventory, no drop shipping, no overhead, no employees, no commissions, no multi-level marketing, no cold calling, no begging friends and family. That is like having your own online robot that works for you 24/7 in the e-learning industry. Now, how do you make money with an automated money machine? You have to get reskilled. So just like your cell phone comes with a manual, this online automated system, which is essentially your website, it's essentially a website that's already built. It's an automated system that uses a website. So all you have to do is get yourself a domain, plug your domain into this automated system because it's already built. So you can have your domain tied to an automated system up and running within 3 days, 72 hours. And then you get your reskilling. You get reskilled on how to earn money digitally, digital money. That's how you have a 2-hour workday. That's how you get paid daily, and that is how you earn 100% of profits. No marketing advertising costs, no chasing customers. You will be taught how to use social media and your cell phone to have customers worldwide. How? Because you have an automated system that is working 24/7 for you. You don't have to do the work. All you got to do is attract. Did you hear me? I said attract, not chase. Now, for you to fully understand what I'm saying, you have to step outside your paradigm. You want a job, you normally go after it. If you happen to be fortunate, then a headhunter comes and finds you. But to earn 100% profits, you have to work for yourself. To have daily pay, you have to work for yourself. To have an automated system, you have to invest in yourself. Now, what does an investment look like? It's cheaper than your cell phone. I say this every single day, and I'm not going to change. You spent $1,000 on your cell phone, estimated. If you would have spent $600 or $300 or $100, one time only, you would have had an automated system and a reskilling program that come together that would get you equipped to earn money in this digital industry. You can be a real estate agent. You can be a truck driver. You can be a stay-at-home mom. You can be a C-level executive that lost their job. You can be a high school dropout. You can be whatever it is, because guess what? If you're not earning money online, that means you don't have the skills to earn money online. And if you don't have the skills to earn money online, how are you going to participate in an economic boom? You must get reskilled, whether you want to or not. Now, if you're waiting for an employer to do this for you, let me tell you something. You're going to be waiting for a while, because employers are not hiring. If you're thinking about taking on student loans, student debts to go back to school, I would suggest you pause, because that's not a good financial decision, because there's no guarantee 2-4 years from now, you will actually be able to get a job. So what are your options? Someone said the U.S. is doomed. The U.S. is not doomed. Let me tell you who is at risk. People. Now, how do you do this? You need your own business. The U.S. government grows because of small businesses. The U.S. economy has been strong because of small businesses. The problem is that most of you can't afford a small business until now. Most of you couldn't get the education or the guidance to have your own online business until now. You're watching me from a cell phone. I am 85 to 90% confident you're watching me from a cell phone. So if you can afford a cell phone, or a gaming system, or a flat screen TV, or some of these, celebrity endorsed sneakers. If you can afford that, you cannot afford not to afford to invest in your own technology that's already built to allow you to earn money in this new age. Now, how do you miss an economic boom? You don't take action. Broke money to new money means that someone took action. Stay broke money means someone did not take action. I'm hoping on some level, based upon what I've showed you wise, you could end up being prosperous today, not prosperous tomorrow, and people who you thought could never pass you up will pass you up. You must understand that you're in a time where it's the wild, wild west, and whoever moves first gets the most. The tech boom, the real estate boom, the renewable energy boom, the crypto boom, early movers who invest in themselves gain the most. The e-learning industry has no permits, no regulators, no gatekeepers. There is nothing that's preventing anyone from doing this anywhere in the world. You can be anywhere in the world. I'm in Malaysia. Next week, I'm on the flight someplace else. I am from the U.S. Is there anyone, what's the e-learning? E-learning, everything is on my profile. If you want to know how to do this and you want to see what I'm saying, all you got to do is leave my live, go to my profile. Leave my live stream and go to my profile, my website there. 2-hour workday. You want to know why it's 2 hours? Because you only focus on income earning activities. You're taught what to do. High school dropout, it doesn't matter. You don't need tech skills. You don't need a formal education. You don't need a certain type of work experience, because you're going to be taught everything you need to know. step by step, beginner friendly. Highly educated, unemployed, guess what? You're also going to be reskilled. Everyone is going to be learning the same damn thing, because you know what the common thread is? The common thread is you want to earn digital money. You want to keep up with the time. 100% profits, 2-hour work days, daily pay. Daily pay, 100% profits, 2-hour work day. Tell me who in my live stream besides me has that. 100% profits means you earn revenue, you have no expenses, all the money is yours. Your automated system, if you invest in yours, it's yours. I do not earn money from your automated system. So when I say 100% of the money is yours, it is yours. Are there monthly fees? No. Are there hidden fees? No. It's one time only. Unlike your cell phone, which requires upgrades by you, this is one time in technologies that are putting you out of a job, and that's destroying energies or destroying industries. So my question is, what do you do? What do you do? Do you sit and wait? Or do you go looking for greener pastures? Billions and trillions of dollars are being invested in the digital industry. And if you don't find a way to insert yourself in a way that's affordable, essentially risk-free and stable, you will see the recession side of this economy. Recession/depression. If you decide to move and bank on yourself and invest in yourself and invest in your own reskilling and getting your own AI and automation technologies, all you have to do is leave my live and go to my profile. I'm taking a minute because I'm already over. I'm going to be on a minute longer. I want you to understand what I'm saying. A recession, depression is here. Now, it may be more relevant to some of you than others, but you must understand, if you are not skilled in earning money in the digital industry, which is an economic boom, and you are still playing on old money earning ways, you are jeopardizing your ability to keep up and to prosper. I used Iraq as an example. Iraq was a great trade hub thousands of years ago. Because they refused to see what was happening, they refused to see economic threats that were coming on their doorstep. They got invaded. It introduced instability. And it's caused a lot of mayhem and missed money earning abilities because they did not keep up with the times and watch what was happening. Now you have you. Some of you have prospered for a while. Some of you have struggled for a while. But now you're at a time in history where the playing field is being leveled because most people do not know how to earn money online. So essentially, you're all babies. And when you're all babies, guess what? Chaos equals opportunity. And when there's opportunity, you must snatch that bag at the right time. So what do? Do you keep upgrading your iPhone? Do you keep buying gaming systems? Do you keep buying flat screen TVs? Or do you get your own technology using AI and automations and you learn how to work that son of a bitch to get 2-hour workday pay, daily pay, and 100% profits? Do you want time freedom? Do you want economic freedom? Do you want to prosper? Not everybody is going to be broke during this recession. Most of you will. Some of you won't. Being broke is a choice. There are industries that will always thrive during a recession and depression. There are industries that will always thrive during a depression and recession. All you got to do is leave my live and go to my profile. I don't handhold. I don't spoon feed. We are adults. Go to my profile. And if you keep asking me, guys, I'm going to tell you my moderator is going to block, because when you ask me questions that you can get the answer to, that tells me you're not ready. That tells me you're not ready. Your call to action, go to my profile, go to my website, check it out. You want to learn how you can earn money off a 2-hour workday daily pay, 100% profits, is legal, it's legit. E-learning is real. E-learning is booming. You now have a way to earn money in e-learning without creating anything at all. No creating anything at all. It's already created. So all you need is the manual, the step-by-step manual to tell you what to do. Stop spending money, stop wasting money, and start getting tools that earn you money. Stop wasting your money and wasting your time, and start investing in tools that are making people rich, that are making people prosperous, and that's securing that bag. Last, you need to learn how to hop from one economic boom to the next. You are in a time where things move fast, and if you do not keep up with the waves of economic booms in a safe, stable, risk-free way, you become history, which means you're irrelevant, which essentially means you're broke. All right? I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Tomorrow, you're going to bring me more hearts, everybody. I'm telling you that now. I want more love tomorrow. But thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time, and I will see you later. Thank you.